the wrist feeling?
Good, it's feeling a lot better.
Was that? I mean, that was a pretty scary fall when it happened. Was it sort of better than you expected or feared that it might be?
Oh, yeah, it was definitely better than what they thought initially. So happy with how it's been progressing.
How was your All-Star break? What did you get up to?
Oh, just relax. That's the main thing.
Was it helpful to have that week just in terms of like the recovery?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. A week to just get straight rehab and rest and recover.
How curious are you to see what it will be like to defend with, a proven veteran center back there?
Oh, I'm definitely excited. Even when Christian's in there, he's a great rim presence. So another one is awesome. Jakob's he's a great deterrent of the rim. Knows what he's doing. He's been there for years. He knows the system. He's been here, he's a great player.
Does it change what you can do in terms of like amping up your aggressiveness, or is it pretty much the same job for you?
I think everyone can be more aggressive on the ball. We have him back there, just like when Christian's back there, can be super aggressive. So it definitely helps for sure.
How big do you think the learning curve is going to be now that Yak has 3 games under his belt here, but you're coming back, Gary, Thad, everyone seems to be healthy. Do you think it's going to take a while, or because Yak has been here and a bunch of you guys are familiar with him, maybe that learning curve won't be as steep?
Yeah, I think it definitely helps being familiar with him, and Yak's been here, and then so we're just gonna step right in. Hopefully, from the start, it's smooth. That's what we hope.
Is Yak gonna affect what you do at all, like him being here?
What do you mean? Like?
Is it gonna change the way you play?
Oh, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think.
You just go and do your thing.
Yeah, we're all within a team concept, so we're all gonna adjust to everyone and play and try to win games.
On a defensive rotation standpoint, how effective is it to have his presence in the paint and knowing that if you're defending a guard that's really quick, that he's also there as your help defense?
Oh yeah, it makes a big difference knowing there's 7-footer back there behind us. Just like when Christian's back there, makes a difference on how aggressive we can be. So it's definitely gonna help a lot.
And then in terms of your own approach to the second half of the season, or I guess like the last stretch of the season, is defensive player still right at the top of your list in terms of goals you want to achieve, or has anything else come up?
Really just winning games, and that'll come from winning. So if we go on our run, we start winning games, start doing what we know we can do, that can come up.
How far do you allow yourself to look ahead? Because obviously that to get back to where you guys want to be, you have to string some wins together. Is it possible to just kind of look game by game at this point, or do you have to kind of take a bigger picture view of it?
I think looking game by game. We can't look too far ahead. Just game by game. Focus on being the best we can be that day, and just take it day by day.
What was the worst case scenario for your injury? You mentioned it was much worse than, or it could have been much worse than what it was.
I don't know everything exactly, but it could have been more weeks out.
They told you early on that it could have been more than.
Yeah, the worst case would have been needing surgery.
Yeah.
So I don't know exactly at the specifics, but I would have needed surgery, worst case. But thankfully avoided that.
Do you feel like you're going to have to do anything differently when you do come back? Is there like a process of kind of easing back, or do you feel like you're ready to go full bore?
I hope I don't have to hope I can just step in and be fine, but maybe a little bit of adjustment, I don't know. I've practiced a couple times, I've had contact, so I think I should be fine.
How many hours of footage did you take, and what are you going to do with it all?
I don't know. I got a lot. I don't know. We'll see. I'm still working on it. Trying to see what we work out.
It felt like a project that you had in mind when you were on your way there.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to take all the credit. I have a good team. We, my guys, Tier 0, shout out. We worked together, and we had some things in mind. They had some things in mind, and we came up with some we thought was gonna be cool. So something different. I don't know. I like content creating, and just all those things that are interesting, like cameras and all that. So when I had a group of people that also creative and they want to do stuff, I'm with it. Whatever. I'm complicated because I like my comfort zone. I like being on my own, but also I like creating and just sometimes getting out of my comfort zone. So just finding a good balance and have a good team around to do it.
Were you trying to throw it back with the camcorder look?
I mean, that was the plan. Yeah, that was the plan. Yeah.
Retro, like KG and Shaq during that?
Yep. Got some good response, so it was good.
It's been a few years, but how did this All-Star experience compare to the first one?
I think obviously first one was like, you as a starter, like first time ever, like it was just so much more, and really, obviously like this was awesome. I enjoyed it, but I think obviously like that first one is always special. But I'm so grateful every single day. Like I want to be able to continue to get better, and the more I get better, the more those type of things come. So I just had to focus on the work.
Did the family have a good time?
I think so. They better have. There's a lot of money into that.
And then I don't even know if you needed this, but going to an All-Star game like that, does it sort of rekindle or rejuvenate a guy? Like right before the break, you were going in and you weren't quite your positive, happy self.
I'm always myself. I think like I'm always myself, and like I say, man, like I always say that when we had that whole time in Tampa and all that, it's like losing sucks. Like yeah, it's not fun. And when you care about something and something that you really put hours in every single day, and when it's not going the way that you like, like it's hard, it hurts, and you're not gonna be happy. So, and I try to stay balanced, but sometimes you have to, understand that that's life. Like there's gonna be a lot of highs and there's gonna be a lot of lows, and I think that most of the time what I try to focus on is to have like high lows, like lows that don't feel like the end of the world. Like that's kind of like how I try to focus on it and take the positive in it. But no, it was good, man. Spending a good time with my family, enjoying, is always that's always great. But just coming back and knowing that again we have an opportunity to just get better as a team. I'm excited about it.
Yak's got a few games under his belt. Now you're getting OG and Gary back. Have you thought about what that could look like with all of you guys out there, and how much of a learning curve do you think there's going to be?
I think again, like we've had a lot of times where some people were in, some people were out. Again, like we just gotta focus on who we have on the floor, and I think that obviously we're excited that we have everyone on the floor basically, and we just want to continue to play together like we've been doing. I thought we had a great month, and we playing some good basketball, lost some tough games, but I just feel like if we continue in that kind of like trend, we'll be okay. So I'm happy those guys are back, and we can just go out there, play good basketball, play together, have some fun, and win some games like in a row. Like that's literally what the focus is.
At All-Star, you got to share the court with so many talented players. You get to be in practices with those guys. Was there anybody that surprised you in terms of like you always knew they were nice, but like you didn't know they were like that?
I don't think it was near the practice.
Oh, okay.
I don't think I've seen anything.
What was it like to kind of share the court with SGA on the same team?
No, it was cool. I think all those guys was great, man. Like just having fun. Like some of those guys you see before, and like we don't really like we are cordial and we say hi and stuff, but just being on the same court and like talking and hanging out, like it was good. Like a lot of great guys out there.
You guys know that to get back to where you want to be, you have to go on a run, start stringing together some wins here. How far do you allow yourself to look ahead? I know you've talked in the past about kind of breaking down the season into 5-game increments. Do you still do that? Are you looking at fewer games, more games at this point?
Listen, I'm not really looking at the whole big picture, like the 23 games or where it goes. I mean, obviously we need to win and, cheer for the teams around us to not win and, to climb up there. That doesn't change. That probably goes on no matter where we're at. I mean, I think the biggest thing is we got to make sure that we get in some form or fashion, and then just like get better, right? Like I think we need to get to playing to where we think we can, and I mean, we played pretty good basketball here of late. There's been a couple of slip-ups here and there, but just want to keep progressing, and I really feel like we can line up with anyone. And we certainly haven't made it easy on ourselves, and it hasn't been easy, whatever. But so what? That's the kind of hand we're dealt at this time, and we got to dig in and just continue to play better and see where the chips fall.
What does Pirtle's arrival allow maybe OG to do
defensively that he might not have been able to do beforehand?
Well, I think the big thing that this does is it frees up our wings to guard wings and guards, right? And that we're not using one of them on a center. You know, I mean, we will a little bit, I think, you know, you're certainly going to see, you know, Precious has spent a lot of time at the 5, but, you know, when we probably were at our strength tops defensively last year, it was a Precious, Pascal, OG, Scotty, like those guys were in the mix guarding the wings and guards, the heavy scorers on the opposing team. So one thing is, it'd be nice to have all 4 of them out there, you know, available for a good stretch so we can see it. But then, you know, Jakob gets to take, we don't have to use one of them on the center. So should give us some again, more, like to me, it gives us a chance to expend some more energy because there's one more guy or 2 more guys available to go, you know, really go hard and really put pressure on a guy. And then we switch a matchup and bring another guy in and he looks similar and can do the same things again with high energy. Yep.
On the other end, how do you make sure, thinking specifically maybe about Pascal and Scotty, how do you make sure they're involved even when they're not in the main action, let's say?
Well, I think that you're saying because Pirtle's here, there's less chances for them, or
I mean,
is that what you're referring to?
Before the
Yeah.
break about screening opportunities.
Yeah. I mean, I think that I think Pascal's going to get involved. I think the ball gravitates to him. I think Scotty's the one that as well that just needs, you know, he's got the ball. He's bringing it up a bunch. He needs to just be assertive in those things. Like to me, when he's bringing it up the floor and hitting the paint to make a play for himself or somebody else is where he's got to kind of get to on a like regular basis, right? Like.
So is that like semi-transition?
Yes,
kind of?
yes. It's transition, or it's even semi-transition is a good word. Even it's 5-on-5, but the defense isn't set yet, right? Where you're trying to get some kind of early offense off that. So I think again, I don't worry too much about Pascal finding the ball and getting his opportunities. Scotty's just kind of the same. We want him to be probably a little more aggressive, right?
Presumably when the open threes come to them, you want them both taking those.
100%. I think both of them, and OG included, need to up their volume of threes because I think that they're going to be on the perimeter more than they were, right? I think the opportunity should be there, and I think that, you know, if you're playing against us and you say, okay, Pirtle's not a three-point shooter, and where does Scotty fall on that line? Let's pack it in there. And those guys to me, they need to shoot with confidence. I think Pascal's a good, OG's definitely a good shooter. Pascal's a good shooter, and Scotty certainly makes the catch and shoot ones. And all 3 of them got to continue to. I already said it, but raise their volume of those looks just so we can keep people honest and create more space for driving and throwing it inside and cutting and stuff later on.
Coach, on a higher level, how does your expectations change post All-Star break for this team?
Well, I mean, listen, I think that again. It certainly feels better to have, some guys healthy and certainly another kind of NBA veteran. Pirtle's an NBA veteran, and we know him, so he's fit in pretty seamlessly. That can only help us. Like I would say that I would like to play, 9-10 guys, and those guys can play a little less, not as long rotations, right? Not such long stretches. And then they ought to be able to amp up a little bit more, right? I'd like to see our defense get up to this level where we're like, where it feels sometimes where you're just not gonna get a good look, and we're gonna take the ball from you a lot, and we're gonna limit you to one shot, and it's like teams know that it's coming at you with some serious intensity. So, like big picture, my expectations are to just get us to max that out, play really good, become a great defensive team like we were a year ago. This stretch of the season, and then I think continue to shape and polish our offense. And then I think if we do that, the big picture takes care of itself.
When you guys go out and add a big piece, like Yak, just before the break, and you've done that a few times over the years, how much does that change the break for you, like in terms of spending the time kind of going back to the drawing board? And
not a ton considering it was him. I think that he stated to me early, like, listen, I got a lot of the offense, like, feels pretty good to me. I kind of like, but the defense is like, holy smokes, like this is like opposite of what we were doing down, you know, in where I was. So I got to get some feel of what's going on there. So anyway, your question was how do I mostly just need to like get him his short, like the short teaching method. Like what can he learn? Like give him a short package defensively so he can be like up to speed as quick as possible, you know, and an understanding of, and then grow it as we go a little bit with him defensively. And then the rest of it is just thinking about, you know, how's it going to look? You know, who's going to start, who's going to sub first, who's going to come out, what's the team starting the second quarter going to look like tinkering around with some of that. And I've been doing that the last couple days in practice, just looking at what different things look like. And of course, you know, like I say to you, I spend some time on it, but it never seems to last very long. So it's always a work in work in progress. Yep.